Does anyone in our audience care that the Washington Commanders football team has had 13 executives leave in the last 18 months?
Nope.
Does anyone care? Or are we just going to keep analyzing Washington through the prism of they're not as good as the Eagles and Carson Wentz seems to not be what we should be doing there?
I think at halftime, they had negative 16 passing yards?
Mike Fuentes told me that he had Carson Wentz playing for him, and he had negative 18 points in fantasy yesterday.
Wentz was off to a good start, but that's classic Wentz right there.
No. Oh, good start in fantasy.
Yeah, good start, and then I'll have one of those bad games, and he had it yesterday.
I don't play fantasy. That's a real thing. You could get negative. Your quarterback can be
negative.
negative.
Heard of course, yes. Negative 18 points at one point in the game.
Yeah, there was a legendary Monday Nighter where a bunch of people went in with pretty commanding fantasy football leads, and Rex Grossman lost them the game.
So he had 211 yards. He had no touchdowns, so no points there, but he was sacked 9 times, and I'm guessing that Fuentes is in a league where you get, a point deduction for each sack.
A couple
so probably
points,
like
I think,
negative 5 or something like that.
So you guys are not merely going to ignore the executive exodus at Washington. You're not even going to concentrate on the focus of the
negative
team on the
points,
field.
Dan.
You're just going to analyze what it did to your fantasy team.
No,
Mike
to Mike Fuentes'
is
fantasy
Mike. Okay.
Maybe if they had stability, in that front office, somebody would have said Carson Wentz shouldn't be the plan.
Negative 13 executives.
Maybe they should have more executives playing fantasy, deciding who their quarterback should be so they can have value at the big thing. They seem to have wide receivers. They seem to have plenty of those.
Well, he's not using them.
I know that they won in part because of like a very shady personal foul and sportsmanlike in that Kansas City game, but the sample is starting to grow on Indianapolis's quarterback strategy over the last few years, and I'm not a fan. Start
0-2 with an old guy and then win a bunch of games.
Yeah. Okay, this guy was good 4 years ago, and he's available to us. Let's go all in on this. There's always a reason.
I love
for
this.
That.
He beat Patrick Mahomes yesterday.
No, but okay, there it is. The win-loss again.
Matty Ice.
Kelsey dropped a touchdown.
He is going to
1-1-1.
It is hitting the knee of a patient in the doctor's
left about
office.
17 points on the field yesterday.
His analysis is only going to be: did it win or did it not win?
1-1-1, Dan.
Yeah,
there was 1 week where we couldn't answer the question. The question of both was: it did not win and it did not lose.
1-1-1 in the AFC South. You're right there. Every team's in the mix. It's amazing.
Matt Ryan has tied Davis Mills, got shut out by Trevor Lawrence and company, and beat Patrick Mahomes. NFL makes no sense.
That was a bad pick by Davis Mills. The end of that game yesterday. Oh, Houston could have been in first place.
As it was tipped. Relax. It was tipped.
Tip drill? Sorry.
Did you guys feel the same thing rise inside of you anytime the red zone showed Bears Texans?
Yes. Yeah.
I was cursing at my TV. It was hard to look at. With that field and those uniforms.
Get them all out of here. I know they're not good enough. None of them. Get them all out of here.
So much Navy on my screen.
Get them all out. Bring me the slow Chargers in the 4 o'clock window. Get all of brush the 2020. Don't keep playing overtime football. All of you out of here. Somebody throw an interception. Get me out of here. I don't want this game interfering with the rest of what my Sunday is.
If I don't have a bet, a single solitary bet on your football game, that is an indictment.
And then an unrewarding push at the end because it's Bears.
You buy that half point down, Dan. I got to figure it out. 2.5 Bears at home.
The big Bears controversy from last week with Justin Fields. Did you guys?
We did talk about it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
The fans putting it in the
means more to me than it does to you.
You were off that day.
Oh, that's a bummer. Well, he had 8 completions this weekend.
They don't throw the ball. They're just, we're going to run it 77 times.
You don't have to throw the ball.
The Bears.
Why not just not throw the ball?
There might be several drives in the NFL where a quarterback had more than 8 completions on a single drive. Josh Allen.
Think about the things that we're talking about where we're saying nerd ball is taking over and precisions, and the Bears are like, we're not going to throw it, and the Colts are like, we're going to come after you with one of the old guys being really expensive at quarterback. Like we're gonna see what Frank Reich does for us, and grinding it out, maybe giving it to Taylor 400 times a game, and then they could have won the Super Bowl last year. Doing it that way
could this year.
Could have done it and might do it in a bad division, unless of course Stugotz's 2-week-old late analysis of look out for the Jags is right.
He's good. Roll him out. Trevor Lawrence. I'm telling you, Dan, if he fades back, he's not that kind of quarterback, and Urban should have known that. He's a guy you got to get out of the pocket, have him move around. He can make all the throws.
Urban didn't even know who Aaron Donald was.
You can't help but envision Trevor Lawrence on a white stallion. Why didn't they know before to just roll him to his right? Flowing hair. Get him a little more time and he'll throw it sidearm. Why couldn't Urban figure that out? Instead, now he's on Fox's big show and they're making sign rules that don't allow over the weekend for any signs to insult Urban Meyer or play with Urban Meyer because Urban Meyer's going to get back in the game with 2 career Jags wins.
I don't get that. So is that because they don't want to hurt his feelings, or it's just a blanket?
Probably
like,
'cause he asked
they're going
for
to be
it.
too inappropriate, so we can't allow any.
I'm guessing Urban to Dan.
Well, you can't have inappropriate signs. It can be, you can put the rule at inappropriate and not Urban signs. I'm guessing Urban doesn't want signs. Urban's trying to sneak as the 5th analyst to the better next job, whatever it is. Like, he doesn't want a big scene of Nebraska fans chanting his name so people are talking every week about remembering. We're still too close to the fire of this guy is still echoing laughter as a joke professional coach.
I told you guys last season you were very down on Trevor Lawrence, and he was playing very poorly. And I said that the organization that drafted him first overall has failed him with this coaching hire. This is not the player that we saw in college win national championships, the player that was a Heisman finalist. He needs support from the staff. He needs support from the front office. And this year, they gave him that. And last year, I think you throw all those stats out the window. It's a football cliche, but anything that happened while Urban Meyer was the coach should not count.
If you
Should
can fix Josh Allen, you can fix Trevor Lawrence.
In a division with Davis Mills.
Precisely. That dude that bet Jags $88,000 on Jags to win the AFC South. Wow.
Looking good.
And that's the difference. The coach, the Urban Meyer.
I mean, why not get a coach that won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles?
They got him a weapon too. I mean, he has
Christian
like,
overpaid for
Travis
one.
Etienne's back. Like he has
James Robinson playing very well.
Yeah, he has more on the offense this season to work with. But I also think that when you are a rookie in the NFL and there's that level of dysfunction happening around you and you're still trying to get your footing as a professional athlete, it's probably very difficult to have any sort of rhythm or to just feel comfortable in that role when there's an actual dumpster fire happening in the front office behind you.